Coming up on today's show, we're going to be breaking down Chris Lowe's article from ESPN. It wasn't all about the quarterback battle. A lot of it had to do with leadership of this Alabama team going into next season. But Ryan Grubb did make some comments about the quarterback battle, so I want to touch on that on today's video. Also, Alabama is in the running for multiple 5-stars, so we're going to talk about that as well on today's show. And we're going to have plenty of Alabama football videos all off season long. The most subs that we've got so far in this month is 22 on one single video, and I want to beat that for this video. To help me out, our next goal is to get to 25,000 subscribers. Make sure you guys are locked into all Alabama Crimson Tide news. Hit that sub button for me right now. That's youtube.com/@RollTideTV. All right, the first thing that I want to touch on here is that Chris Lowe article that he dropped yesterday. And Alabama offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb commented on the current state of Alabama's quarterback battle. Now, I will say about this before we get to the comments here by Ryan Grubb, there is a lot of coach speak in this. And honestly, that's probably a good thing. You know, as much as we all want to know who the quarterback is going to be next year, really, we don't have to know quite yet. Going back to that AL.com article that we talked about last week, they said that Kalen DeBoer should know who the starting quarterback is going to be already right now as we sit, 12 practices now into spring camp. And if they don't know who that quarterback is going to be, they should end up hitting the transfer portal to find another quarterback. Now, that, I think, is kind of crazy and doesn't really make any sense to find a starting quarterback. I don't think it would hurt if Alabama went out in the transfer portal and just found another body at that quarterback position because, I'll be honest, 3 quarterbacks in the room does make me a little nervous, but there isn't a quarterback in the country that is going to hit the transfer portal this spring that would be able to come in over the summer and win this job outright before week 1 of the season. I don't think Alabama is going to tip their hand anytime this spring, but, I don't see a world where even, if someone even has balled out this spring and has quote-unquote separated themselves, I don't think we as fans are really going to know who that starter is going to be till at least week 1. Maybe there's a leak out there the week of that game where we end up finding out who that quarterback is going to be. But I think it's more likely that we don't actually find out until game day itself when Alabama takes on Florida State. We're just really, as of right now, going to have to wait and rely on some of those Alabama media members to drop some of those spring practice nuggets from some of their sources, which, by the way, have been mostly pro Ty Simpson so far. So I do just want to make note of that. But this is what Ryan Grubb said to Chris Lowe about Alabama's quarterback battle right now. He said, I think we've got 3 really, really good quarterbacks. And I mean that. I don't think anybody has separated. They're all playing really good, but they're not playing great yet. You're looking for the guy that's going to be consistent, that can show up the same and make the same plays all the time. But I wasn't expecting that either. I wasn't going into this thinking, oh, I bet by practice 11 this is done. I didn't think that at all, and I didn't think that because I thought all 3 of them were really good. So let me know here at the pinned comment of today's video, when will we find out who Alabama's quarterback is going to be? Is it going to be this spring? Type S if you think so. Or do you think we're going to have to wait until the fall camp or the season, whenever you guys think? Let me know what you guys think at the pinned comment of today's video. If that ad comes here on YouTube, that is totally fine. You guys can take advantage of it. Get down there and let me know what you guys think. Type S if you think we'll find out in the spring, or type F if you think we're going to have to wait till the fall. All right, next up on today's show, I want to talk about some Alabama recruiting rumors out here. Jet Washington, what a name. I think he's in the class of 2026 all-name team. Alabama right now is in the running for Jet Washington. He is a 5-star safety, number 3 safety in this class, and also the number 1 player out of the state of Nevada from Bishop Gorman High School, which, by the way, is also that same high school as Alabama wide receiver Derek Meadows. Now, Bama Online also reported that he will be visiting Alabama for an unofficial visit coming up this weekend. This will be his 2nd visit on campus. The first one was last year when he visited for that Georgia game. Alabama and Oregon will receive some official visits for him according to On3, but those dates as of right now are to be determined. I would assume those details are probably going to get ironed out this weekend, but he's listed right now 6'4", 6'4", 200 pounds. So another long, big defensive back target for Kane Womack in this Alabama defense. He was also named the 2024 Max Preps Nevada Player of the Year. His sophomore season was starting on varsity, 37 tackles, 2 interceptions, and then this past season as a junior had 5 interceptions as well. So Jet Washington, definitely a name to monitor right now for Alabama in terms of some of those 5 stars in this 2026 recruiting cycle. GameTime is back, and they are the sponsor of today's show. GameTime makes getting tickets even faster and easier. Prices on the GameTime app actually go down the closer you get to first pitch. If you want to go to some MLB games now that the season is in full swing, they have killer last-minute deals. They have all-in prices, views from your seat, and the lowest price is guaranteed. GameTime takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. They have last-minute deals. You guys can save up to 60% off right now just by buying last-minute tickets for sports, concerts, comedy, theater, and everything else in between. If you guys want to check out an Alabama baseball game, they're playing Mississippi State this weekend. Talladega is coming up here in just a couple of weeks. If you guys haven't been to a NASCAR race in person, it is a whole lot more fun than actually watching NASCAR on TV, especially at Talladega. If you're not interested in racing, there's a lot of good people watching to do there as well. Also, Cardinals at Braves coming up here on April 22nd. Chipper Jones bobblehead night. So if you guys want to attend that, you guys can get your tickets right now on GameTime. You can also use the GameTime Picks feature. It just makes getting last-minute ticket buying even easier than ever, by quickly highlighting the best deals in the stadium. One of my favorite features is the seat views. You guys can get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy your tickets, so you know exactly what your view is going to look like. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with GameTime. Download the GameTime app today, create an account, and redeem promo code ChatSports for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply, but again, create an account and redeem promo code CHATSPORTS. That's ChatSports for $20 off your first purchase. Download the GameTime app today. They have last-minute tickets at the lowest prices, all guaranteed. That link is in the comment section and the description of today's video. All right, next up on today's video, I want to talk about a Steve Wiltfong update here. Steve Wiltfong of On3 dropped a recruiting update for Alabama and listed the Crimson Tide as a top contender for 2 in-state recruits, both of them very notably 5 stars as well. First guy we're going to talk about here is Cedarian Morgan. Haven't talked about him in a little bit, but he does have a commitment date set as well for July 2nd. So I think since last time that we've talked about him, that is new as well. He's the number 3 wide receiver in this class, number 2 player out of the state of Alabama. Also, I think that commitment date is notable because he does have an official visit set up here for June 20th through the 22nd as well. This is what Steve Wiltfong said about Cedarian Morgan. He was also kind of mentioning E.J. Crowell here as well. He said both were at Auburn over the weekend, and the Tigers will continue to work on changing the pulse, including summer official visits. But the Crimson Tide are setting the pace. There is a ton of Alabama support around Morgan, who is the nation's number 3 wide receiver. So how many 5 stars do you guys think Alabama will land in their 2026 recruiting class? They landed, 4 or 5 last cycle? Let me know what you guys think in the comments section of today's show. All right, the next player I also want to bring up is E.J. Crowell. He reclassified from that 2027 class now to the 2026 class and is still in that 5-star category, the number 2 running back in this class and the number 3 player out of the state of Alabama. Now, he most recently visited Texas, also was at Auburn this weekend as well. He did call Auburn a contender there as well, so I do think that is notable to say there. But Steve Wiltfong did also say that Crowell, he's the number 2 running back in the land right now. He's got an eye on a few programs, but he is very comfortable with Alabama. I think that comfortability, shows because just yesterday, actually on Monday, he showed up to Tuscaloosa just randomly for a 1-day unofficial visit as well. So Alabama right now in the running for multiple top recruits in the state right now. And if you think back to last season, in that 2025 recruiting cycle, Alabama really didn't get anybody in the top 10 of the in-state recruits anyways. And, man, they really sure do look like they got a chance to get at least 3, maybe even 4 of the top 5 players in the state of Alabama right now. We just talked about Cedarian Morgan, E.J. Crowell. You got Zion Gibson already committed right now. Anthony Jones is the number 1 player in the state of Alabama in this 2026 cycle. He's a 5-star number 2 edge. I don't really think Alabama's in the running right now for Landon Duckworth. We're just going to have to, I guess, wait and see on that, but I really haven't seen much on Landon Duckworth in terms of being linked to Alabama. But, man, if you could get Anthony Jones, Cedarian Morgan, E.J. Crowell, Zion Gibson, top 4 players in the state, that would be a very, very good in-state signing class, no matter really who you end up signing when it comes to those in-state recruits outside of that top 5.